So we're calling up Chris Morris, Master Distiller for Woodford Reserve. I'm calling Chris Morris, Master Distiller of Woodford Reserve, while I drink my first sip. So, Chris. So congratulations to you on the release of the new Double Oaked.
Well, thank you. It's been a long time coming, but we're glad it's on its way out.
Do you have any with you to sip as I sip?
Unfortunately, no. You got me at a strategic disadvantage. I'm at home without a bottle of it. We're in the bottling process, and of course, it's a great coincidence. I had a bottle here, and I already drank it, so shame on me.
And when did Woodford Reserve? I think you've told me many times, but I'm forgetting. When was it first released to the market?
We sold the first bottles in October of 1996.
And what was this Double Oak? What was it inspired by? What gave you this idea?
Double Oak was inspired by our ongoing research that did accumulate in terms of products into the Maplewood finish and its predecessor, the Seasoned Oak finish, and other work we've been doing along the years. And the Seasoned Oak was our rebarreling in oak, made a new barrel made out of seasoned oak that had set outdoors for 5 years. The Maplewood was really breaking the technology down of how do you make a barrel different. Obviously, maple is different. And earlier, with our Sonoma-Cutrer finish in the Masters Collection, was our first step into a rebarreling project. So I guess this has a lot of inspiration across a number of our products.
Very nice. Well, I should probably try some. I haven't even cracked the seal yet.
Tom, have you tried it yet? I'm really interested to know what you think of it.
I'm actually still pouring it, but you know what? I am nosing it. I could smell it as I was pouring out of this nice little bottle here. Okay, give me a moment here. Wow, what a nose. What kind of notes? I'm getting some of that original Woodford Reserve nose, but I'm getting a little something else. What am I getting here, Chris, as I'm nosing this?
Okay, what you're going to get, if you really focus, is a more pronounced series of notes that are in Woodford Reserve, as you point out, because remember, this starts as Woodford Reserve, fully mature Woodford from the original barrel, rebarreled in the Double Oak barrel. So you should now start noticing a little more cinnamon, more honey, some more maple, brown sugar, and unfortunately, as it warms and breathes, it will really start to expand. So right out of the bottle, you're going to go, hey, this isn't so special. But as it comes along, all of a sudden it's going to hit you like a 2x4. It's like, wow, this is big. This is elegant, really rich. And if you could compare it side by side to the same glass size or bottle of the Reserve Distiller Select, you'll notice it's remarkably darker. So visually, you see there's more barrel in there. Because what do we see when we look at a glass of bourbon whiskey? The barrel character, since we add no color.
Right. Oh, this is really phenomenal, Chris. I am all those things you said. Right. It has those maple characteristics. It's with the cinnamon, like you said. It's a little reminiscent of a few of those limited edition finishes you did, which is, like you said, part of what inspired it. I really enjoyed the maple wood finish. I'm getting a little bit of those finishes on this that are similar to those other bottlings, but something even deeper and richer that feels like a more taking Woodford Reserve, which is already great, by the way, and putting it in a whole new luscious level.
Yes, it does have some of the maplewood finish character. It has, as you get into it, you get it on the palate, more the seasoned oak finish character. And you'll see now the esters, the fruit notes are going to be a little bit bigger. going to get some of the apple tart character that you would have found in the Sonoma-Cutrer finish. And we believe we get some of those early on, not just from the wine that those barrels had, but they were toasted wine barrels. So we start seeing the contribution of various natural chemicals from previous experiments. We put them in this product by creating a unique barrel for the second barreling. We just didn't use a brand new barrel, a brand new Woodford Reserve barrel, which are unique in of themselves. We made a unique barrel, which is called at the cooperage the double oaked barrel, and it was designed to create these certain flavors that we like.
And this actually comes from Woodford Reserve's own cooperage. You all have your own cooperage, the special barrel that you created for it.
Our parent company is the only whiskey company in the world that makes its own new barrels.
You sent me, I also noticed, Chris, you sent in this lovely little package a piece of this barrel. This is actually a piece of the barrel that it is aged, the second barrel, right? This little piece of barrel?
It's heavily toasted. It's almost like it was intended to be a wine barrel. I've never had touched wine, of course, but by toasting the oak for an extended period of time, very slowly, we have coaxed out some of the wonderful aroma and flavor characteristics we've discussed, the honey notes, creamy, buttery notes, some of the strong vanillin notes. And then because we wanted double oak to remain in the bourbon category, we knew we had to char the barrel. But we didn't want to destroy these wonderful characteristics that we've put in so lovingly with the long toasting process. So we have the briefest char possible, which has to be 5 seconds.
So the first char that the first Woodford Reserve is in is aged for how long?
The average of the batch is over 7 years.
Over 7.
And the char is what we would call either a 3 char or a medium char, which is the standard char that finds most bourbon drinkers.
And that char is for how many seconds then?
Exactly, that's 5 periods, but it's over half a minute.
Okay, over 30 seconds. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't trying to ask something that was proprietary. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I could try recreating it, but I don't think I do as good a job as you would. That might help me. And then this one's for 5 seconds. This is really lovely. Well, I'm really impressed with this. How would you? I mean, obviously it's wonderful, straight. Are you seeing this as a bourbon that might be mixed in cocktails? What do you think? How do you think people will react to this, and what do you think they're going to do with this besides drink it?
Hey, this is straight meat on the rocks. I wouldn't add a drop of water to it. But with the great work that the bar trade is doing today, I could see some really neat cocktail development with this product. I think you can make one of the most elegant, rich Manhattans ever conceived on the double oak as the platform.
Especially like we saw a few weeks ago in New York, some of your fabulous mixologists and bartenders from across the country playing with. I could see this doing some phenomenal things in a Manhattan, and just by itself. I mean, it's really quite a luscious and, like you said, elegant bourbon. Is that what you had in mind? Envisioning, here's what I want a new expression to be like. I want it to be elegant. What were you aiming for?
The great line extensions or addition of expression to the family. The Gentleman Jack, the first addition to Jack Daniels in 100 years, was very delicate, soft. Not that our double oak is delicate, because it is a big, bold flavor. But you come out with an expression that contains or exhibits some of the core or the original product, and it takes it to another level. You don't want to go too far off base.
Really glad to be reviewing it first here on BourbonBlog.com. We appreciate the chance to interview you and to talk with you. I mean, it's kind of funny as I've been doing this interview. I don't know whether I should be looking at the phone as I'm talking to you, at my glass, or at the camera. But this is a perfect way. No matter whether you're watching this or whether you're someday drinking Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, the new one or the original, you can feel like you're sitting with Master Distiller Chris Morris and having an elegant sip.
I think you just tell everybody how multi-talented you are. I don't know how you are.
And you may have told me before, how long does it stay on that second barrel for?
For the second barrel, each barrel, of course, dictates its own influence on the product, but it's usually going to be in about a year.
Then the question will be, if it stays in a Woodford Reserve barrel, the first one, for 7 years or a little more, and then that second barrel for a year, the question is, how long will it last on your shelf?
From the individual, as I said, my bottle didn't last very long at all here.
Something tells me on my shelf, Chris, it's going to be drank in probably less than a week. It's pretty good.
That could be. But once a good bourbon, a good whiskey is in the bottle, Tom, and the bottle is stored correctly out of the sunlight, upright, cork finished whiskey bottles should not be stored on their side because the high alcohol content will damage the cork. It will last for a long, long time. You and I will be long gone, and that bottle will still be good if no one's opened it.
And that's great to know, and I'm glad you pointed that out. But my goal is, with all the whiskey that I have, to make sure the whiskey's long gone before I am, because I want to be the one drinking it and sharing it with good friends. Amen to that. That's right. It certainly is. Well, Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us here on BourbonBlog.